name is Frankie and I'm taking you for a chair-based exercise class today. So we're going to be working through our warm-up and our mobility, just sat down in the chair, but then our balance exercises that we're doing today are going to be done out of the chair. So if you're not quite comfortable getting up out of the chair and moving around, this probably isn't the video for you, but there are lots of videos on our channel that are just of me staying the whole time in the chair. So stick with those until you build up your confidence. But if you're ready to go, we'll crack on and get started. So we're going to get into our working position to start with for our warm-up. So I want our feet underneath our knees and I want us sitting up nice and tall. So you need to be away from the back of the chair. So I want you to bring that chest up, pushing it out, push your shoulders back and lift up your head. And imagine you've got a piece of string on the top of your head, pulling you up so you're growing nice and tall. And from here, we've got to get ourselves to the front of the chair. So we're going to bum shuffle forward, so that your bum is right on the edge. I still want your feet underneath your knees and make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall. Now that we're in position, we're going to get started and we're going to start with toe taps. So your heels are on the floor and you're just lifting the toes up, working them together and tapping them on the floor. So we're just getting a little bit of movement to start with and we're going to build up to bigger things in just a minute. So keeping it nice and steady. The speed is up to you. You can stay with me. You go slower, you go faster. It's completely up to you. It's about working to your level within this class and then always trying to get a little bit further than you did when you do it again. So keep it going nice and steady. After this, we're going to be going to a heel tap in 3, 2, 1. So let's start lifting those heels up. So let's keep those toes on the floor, lifting the heels and tapping them down. And as you tap them down, you should feel it go up your legs into your knees. That little bit of impact is good for you. It strengthens up your bones. So keep it going nice and steady. Again, just like the toe taps, the speed is up to you. You stay with me, you go faster, you go slower. As you get a little bit warmer, you might find that you can lift your heels a little bit higher and get a little bit more range of movement in, but just keep them going. So now that we're a little bit warmer, we're going to move on to our leg march in 3, 2, 1. So let's go for the leg march. So you're lifting one leg up at a time. Make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall, all right? We don't want to let that posture go. Lifting one leg up at a time. When you lift your heel first and then your toe. And then when you put your foot down, you put your toe first and roll through into your heel. Keep it nice and steady. And just like before, the speed is up to you. You can stay with me. You can go faster. You can go slower. So it's completely up to you. But just keep moving those legs nice and steady. As you get warmer, you might find that you can lift them a little bit higher or you can lift them a little bit faster. But just go at your pace, all right? After this, we're going to go to an arm swing in 3, 2, 1. So rest your legs and start swinging your arms. Now, the most important part of this movement is the backward swing. So that's taking your elbow right back behind you. Make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall. You don't want to be hunched over doing it. Sit up nice and tall to make your chest big, which makes your lungs big, so you can get lots of oxygen in, makes breathing much, much easier. Keep driving those elbows back and you should feel those shoulders warming up. Getting a little bit more movement going in there, warming up the whole of the upper body. After this, we're going to go back to a leg march in 3, 2, 1. Let's go with those legs. So you're resting the arms, just doing the legs. Keeping it nice and steady, up and down, rolling through the foot. Now we're a little bit warmer. You might be able to go a bit faster. You might be able to lift your leg a little bit higher. If you think you can, you definitely should. Keeping it going, always working to your level, but always trying to push that level just a little bit so you can get fitter and stronger. So keep going. After this, we're going to go to a tap and a clap. You're going to tap your thighs with your hands and then clap in front of your face. In 3, 2, 1. So we tap our thighs and clap our hands. Tap and clap. Tap and clap. And just like everything else we've been doing today, the speed is up to you and the range is up to you. So if you can go a bit faster, go faster. If you want to go a bit slower, then go slower. And it's up to you how high you lift your hands. If you can, lift them right up in front of your face. But if you feel a little bit of pain in your shoulders, just keep it low. It's completely up to you, but just keep moving, nice and steady, finding a rhythm and just keeping it going. After this, we're going to go back to our leg march in 3, 2, 1. Rest those arms and back to that leg march. Now this is the final push of the warm-up, so let's really try and move those legs nice and steady. Final push, final chance to get that body nice and warm. We're going to stop in 3, 2, 1. Bum shuffle back and relax. So now that our body is nice and warm, we're going to mobilize those joints, okay? So let's get back into that working position, feet under the knees and sitting up nice and tall. Let's bum shuffle to the front of the chair. Recheck that posture, feet under the knees, sitting up tall. And let's push those shoulders down, chest is forward. So we're going to start with our ankle activators. So we're going to be putting, watch me for the first one, you lift your foot up and put your toes on the floor and make sure your heel is off the floor. You have a quick look at the point where your toes are touching, lift your foot up and put your heel down in the exact same spot, okay? So this one's really good because it challenges your control over your legs, but it's also going to get those ankles moving and really loosen them up, which makes all the other exercises we're going to do today much easier. So let's do it all together. Do one side, then the other. You're going to lift the foot up and put your toes on the floor. Make sure your heel is up. And now let's lift the foot up again and put your heel in the exact same spot. And when your heel is down, make sure your toes are up. So you're getting a good movement in your ankle. Let's do it again. So let's lift the foot up and put the toes down. And pointing the toes. And let's lift it up again and put the heel down. So getting that good range of movement in your ankle. And let's do it again, lifting it up and putting the toes down. Lifting the heel up when you do this. And lift it up and put the heel down. Let's check that posture, make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall. You don't want to be leaning forward, having a look. Sit up nice and tall. Let's do it one more time. So we've got toes down with the heel up. And the heel down with the toes up. Lovely. Now lift the foot up and put it flat on the floor. Make sure it's underneath the knee. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So let's do it all together. Lift the foot up and put the toes down. Make sure your heel is off the floor as high as you can. And then lift the foot up and put the heel down in the exact same spot. And make sure the toes are up. Again, it's as high as you can. The body's quite warm after our warm-up, so you probably should get a good range. And as you do this movement, the range should get bigger and bigger. So let's do it again. Toes down, heel up. And then lift, heel down, toes up. Nice and steady. Make sure you have that control over your legs. So let's lift it up and put the toes down. Let's make sure that posture's good. Sitting up nice and tall, not leaning forward, having a look. You can look from up here. And heel down. Make sure those toes are up. So we're going to do it one more time on each. Lift the foot up and put the toes down. And then lift the foot and put the heel down. Really good. Getting the ankle moving. Loosening up your joints. Making them less stiff. And lift the foot up. Place it flat on the floor. Lovely, we're ready for the next one. So the next one we're going to do is our side bend. So you're going to have your hands either side of the chair so that you can run your hands down the leg of the chair. So watching me, I'm going to keep my bum on the chair, but I'm going to lean, running my hand down as low as I can, hold it here for a few seconds, and then come all the way back up, making sure we're doing it nice and tall. So when you're leaning forward, don't lean out of your chair, okay? You're just leaning to the side, extending the side of your body, and feeling the movement all around your trunk. So let's do it all together. Hands at the side of your chair. We're going to be leaning in 3, 2, 1. So lean to one side. Run that hand down the chair as low as you can. Remembering that as we do it, you'll probably get a little bit further each time. And come back up to the centre, nice and tall. And let's do it to the other side, leaning across. Keeping your bum cheeks in the seat, because then that way you know you're not going anywhere, you're not going to topple over. And coming back up nice and tall. And leaning again, down to the side. See if you can get a bit further. And back up nice and tall. And again to the other side. Seeing if we can get a little bit further than before, really feeling that movement in the side of your body as you're activating all the muscles all around your middle. And let's do it again, leaning across, holding it here, and back to the center. Let's make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall, leaning across to the other side. See if we can get even further than that first one. This is the third one now, so you should be able to get a little bit further. We're going to do it one more time. So let's lean across, really getting far. This is the last time we're doing it now, so let's see if we can get as far as we possibly can. Always make sure that bum is in the seat. Very last time, sitting up nice and tall still, and leaning across. It's the very last one, so make sure that you're getting the most out of it, as much as you can, and back to the center. Lovely. So we've done the middle, so now let's do our shoulders. So we're going to start with shoulder lifts. So watch me for the first one. I'm going to sit nice and tall with my head up, and I'm going to lift my shoulders up towards my ears and then let them go back down. So let's do it all together. We're going to lift our shoulders up to our ears. Hold them here for a few seconds and then push them back down and push them away a little bit further maybe than they want to comfortably sit, so you get a really good range. And let's lift them again nice and high. Make sure we're still sitting tall. Don't crouch as you do this. Push your chest forward and let them go down. Lovely. Let's recheck the posture, sitting up nice and tall with the chest up. And let's do it again for number 3, lifting them up as high as you can. And then push them back down and push them away, getting that good range. You should feel a stretch as you push them away. And let's lift them up. This is the last one now, so lift them up as high as you can. All those muscles in your shoulders are activating right now. And push them down and away. Lovely. So our next one now is our shoulder circles. Now if this one is a little bit too much for you, just stay with the shoulder lifts. But what we're going to be doing is bringing the shoulders forward, up and round, all right? So you're drawing a circle with your shoulder. So let's do it all together. Shoulders go forward, you lift them up to your ears and then push them back and round. And you should really be feeling that in your shoulder. It's a big movement. Let's do for number 2. Forward, up, back and round. And number 3, forward, up, back and round. Let's check that posture. Make sure we're still nice and tall. And let's do it one more time. Forward, up, back and round. Lovely. Give yourself a little wiggle if you need to. Our final mobility exercises are our twists that we're going to do all around the trunk area. So just watch me for the first one. I'm going to take hold of the back of the chair and take my hand across my body, either holding my leg, my hip or the chair, it's wherever you can reach. And you're going to twist your body round and look behind you. You're going to hold it there for a few seconds before coming round back to the front and doing it on the other side. So let's do it all together now. Feet are underneath the knees and we're sitting up nice and tall. Reach back round and hold the back of the chair, and your other hand goes across your body, either holding your hip or the chair, and you're going to twist it round looking behind you. So you get a nice twist in your trunk but also in your neck as well. So come back to the front and let's do that on the other side. So hand goes back to the back of the chair, your other hand goes across your body, you're twisting and looking behind you. So these are the first ones we're doing today. So you might find that you don't get very far, but as we go through the exercises, you should be able to get a little bit further. So let's do it again. Number 2, holding the back of the chair, holding the side and twisting round. As you mobilise that trunk, mobilise your spine, you'll be able to get a little bit further. Back to the centre, and let's do it on the other side. Holding the back of the chair, arm going across and looking behind you. Get a nice twist in your neck as well as your trunk. And come back to the centre. Now let's check that posture. Make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall and those feet are underneath our knees. So let's do it again. This is number 3. Reaching behind, reaching across and looking behind. See if you can get a little bit further now that we're a little bit more mobilised. And back to the centre. And do it on the other side. Reaching behind, reaching across and twisting, looking over that back shoulder, looking behind you. Really good to practice this one so you can keep that movement in your neck so that when someone calls your name and you've got to look behind you, it's an easy movement to do. Let's do it one more time on each side. Reaching behind, reaching across and keep twisting, keep looking behind you. Keep your bum on the seat and your knees facing forward. You're not twisting your lower body, you're just twisting your trunk and your upper body. One more time, and then you're done. Twisting across, looking behind you. Make it the best one yet. Make sure that you're looking really far behind you. And back to the centre. Lovely. So let's bum shuffle back into our chairs. Sit back and relax. So for the next part of the class, we're going to be doing our balance work. And as you can see, I have set out a line of chairs. So you can do the same, because basically what you need is an edge that you'll be able to walk along and hold on to for support if you need it. So you can set out some chairs like mine. I've got 4 in a row. Or you could do this along the kitchen counters, okay? You just need an edge, probably about hip high or waist high, that you can hold on to for support if you need it, okay? So from here, we need to get ourselves to the back of the chairs. So we're going to do our sit to stand. So have your feet underneath your knees, and I want you sitting up nice and tall away from the back of the chair. And we're going to bum shuffle forward, still sitting up nice and tall, so you're right at the front of your chair. And I want you to drag your feet back underneath you so that they're still flat on the floor, but they are right back as far as they'll go. And from here, you're going to lean forward and shift your weight onto your knees and into your heels, and you're going to drive up through your legs and come up to standing. And when you're stood up nice and tall, start to pedal your feet a little bit. Going from sitting to standing can often put your blood pressure up. So you want to do a little bit of pedaling just to make sure that you're feeling okay, and then just letting that blood pressure reset. And then when you're feeling good, we're going to walk to the back of the chair. So you can hold the back of the chair for support if you need it, and just come all the way around to the back of the chair, pedal a little bit here if you feel like you need to. And I want your feet underneath your hips, and I want us standing up nice and tall. So as you can see here, I've turned my chair so that you guys can have a good view of what I'm going to be doing. So all these exercises that we're about to do are going to be good for helping your balance and improving your balance for when you're doing things like walking around, just everyday activities that involve moving. So we're going to start with a sideways walk, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to turn so that both hands are on the chair, back of the chair, or if you're doing this in your kitchen, holding onto your kitchen counters. And the movement we're going to be doing is shifting your weight into one foot and lifting the other one. And I want you to lift it as high as you can and take a step to the side, and then lift your other foot nice and high and place it back down. And we're going to do sideways step one way and then the other way. Okay, so we're going to do it all together. So start at the end, have your feet hip width apart for now. And then we're going to lift our leg nice and high as you feel comfortable. Place it down, a nice big step, and then lift the other one to follow and placing it down. And let's do that again, lifting up the foot nice and high, putting it down on the floor, and lifting the other one up. And as you can see, I'm holding onto the chair for support, but if you want to, you can just put your fingertips on there, and if you're feeling really confident, you can let go completely, but it's completely up to you. Nice big step and stepping again. Let's do one more time before going back the other direction. Big step and again. And now that we're at the end, let's give it a little pedal, make sure we're feeling okay. So you might have been looking down when you're doing that, checking what your feet were doing. And now I want us looking up, okay? Those feet know what they're doing, we don't need to look. So big step up and let the other one follow. So you're shifting your weight, not looking down at your feet, all right? Lifting the chest, looking up, okay? So you're not looking at your feet. You've got to trust them to do the right thing. Lifting it up nice and high, and the other one. Let's do one more time. Lifting it up, and the other one to follow. So we're going to go back again. Let's test ourselves this time and see if we can just hold on with one finger. So lifting the leg, big step, and lift the other one. Really try and lift up that leg, all right? You're really testing the hip as you're doing that. So this one is really good for when you want to get in and out of the bath, because you're having to lift the leg nice and high. Remembering, trying not to look down. It's really easy to forget because you want to watch what your feet are doing, but try not to look down. Big step. Let's do it one more time. Big step to the end, and other one to follow. So let's go back one more time, and this time I want you to try and not hold on. So have your hands wherever it's comfortable. You could have them hovering just above. So if you need to, you can grab hold of the chair or the kitchen counter at any point, okay? So big step, and the other one to follow. Now let's try and stand nice and tall, looking up, trying not to look down, taking the big steps, really lifting that leg over. Imagine you're stepping into the bathtub. And again, if you feel a little bit of a wobble, don't worry, that's a good thing. It means you're really pushing your balance. Last time, and come back, hold the chair, turn if you need to, give it a few little pedals, just let yourself relax a little bit, and then come up to nice and tall, standing up with your feet underneath your hips. So the next move we're going to be doing is our backwards walking, okay? So this one's going to really test your concentration, your balance and your coordination. So just watch me while I demonstrate it. You're going to turn, or you're going to have one hand on the kitchen counters or on the chairs, however you're doing it, and you're going to take small steps and you're going to walk backwards. Now we're not going to look down because those feet know what they're doing. You're going to try and look up and stand nice and tall as you do this. And then when you get to the end, we're going to turn and go back the other way. So let's all get ready and do this together. So let's stand nice and tall. Feet are hip width apart. Lift that head up, all right? It's all right to check your feet every now and again, but don't stare at them because you end up leaning forward, all right? And we want to be stood nice and tall. So let's start walking backwards in 3, 2, 1. So taking a step back and letting the other one follow. Now we're just taking little steps, okay? They don't need to be big ones because we're just testing the balance, making sure we're all right. Put the toes down first and let the heel follow. Last one, we get to the end, let's turn around and go backwards. Still standing up nice and tall, not looking at those feet if you can, all right? Small steps so that we're treading nice and carefully, putting the toes down first and letting the heels follow. Lovely. So we're at the end again, so let's turn around. We're going to go back again, and I want us to see if we can hold on with just one finger this time. Not looking down, only looking up. If you want to quickly glance at your hand to make sure it's okay, quickly glance at your feet, it's okay. But just make sure that you then look up and you stand nice and tall. Last one, and let's turn around and we're going to go back one more time. And this time we're going to really see if you can push yourself and let go completely. Remember, you can have your hand hovering if you want, just for a little bit of support, but taking those feet back behind you. Small steps, really carefully. You don't want to rush this one, and testing your balance. And then when you get to the end, turn around, and if you need to, pedal. And then when you're feeling okay, just come back to standing still, nice and tall, with your feet underneath your hips. The final move we're doing today is our walking and turning. So for this one, you're going to need 2 chairs like this. stood next to each other, and there needs to be a gap in the middle wide enough for you to walk through, okay? We're going to be walking around the chairs, anti-clockwise and clockwise, and then we're going to do the both together in a figure of 8, okay? So we're going to do nice little steps when we're doing this. Watch me for the first one. I'm going to go clockwise. So I'm going to keep my hand on the chair for support. I'm going to take little steps, walk through the middle and all the way around the outside. And then I come back to the centre, and then I'm going to go the other way. So let's do it all together now. So choose which chair you're going to walk around the first time. Keep your hand on it if you need that support. So let's go all together in 3, 2, 1. Taking little steps for me. Little steps. Now try not to look down, it's always very tempting. But stand nice and tall as you walk all the way round the outside. Come back to the middle. And let's stop there and give me a few pedals just to make sure you're okay. Now this time we're going to do exactly the same round the outside clockwise again, but I want you to hold on with just one finger if you can. If it's too much, just stay with your hand. But walking around the outside, just keeping one finger on your chair. So this is really helping us practice turning round as we're walking, which is very good for when you're walking down the street and it's a little bit crowded and you need to be able to turn in and out of people. This was the exercise that's going to help with that. So we're going to do it one more time before going the other direction, and this time if you can, I want you to let go. So off we go. Small steps. You can always keep your hand hovering above the chair if you want it to, just for a little bit of support. But if you can, let go completely. And get back to the centre and give me a few pedals. So we're going to do all of that again, but going anti-clockwise, okay? So let's go in 3, 2, 1. Holding on with your hand, taking small steps, not looking down, looking up, lifting your chest. Small steps as you walk all the way around the chair. Come back to the centre and give me a few pedals, making sure we're all right. So we're going to make it a little bit harder for this one. Let's see if we can hold on with just one finger. In 3, 2, 1. Off we go. So small steps round, holding on with just a finger if you can. If you need to hold on with more, that's absolutely fine. But really try and test yourself. Lovely. Back to the centre and let's pedal. We're going to do it one more time before we're going to do our figure of 8. So let's see if we can let go completely. Hands out for support if you want to. It's up to you. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So not holding on, trying to look up. All right, don't look at your feet. They know what to do. Just keep looking up in the direction that you're going. Nice and steady. And back to the centre and pedaling again. Lovely. Okay, so now we're going to put the two together. We're going to start by going clockwise round. You get back to the centre, and if you can, you're going to go straight into clockwise. So it's going to be, into anti-clockwise. So it's going to be like a figure of 8 round the chairs. Okay, so let's go in 3, 2, 1. So you're walking forward, and I want you to turn clockwise all the way round. Holding on with your hand if you need it. Back to the centre, but we're not stopping this time. We're going anti-clockwise round the other chair. And then when you get back to the centre, I want you to stop there and pedal, readjusting yourself if you can. All right, so we're going to do it again, but we're going to make it a little bit harder, and we're going to hold on with just our fingertips, all right? So we're going to go clockwise first, and then anti-clockwise in 3, 2, 1. Let's walk forward through the middle, holding on with just one fingertip, going all the way around, making sure we're taking those little steps, and we're going nice and slow. There's no point rushing. Straight back through the middle, and we're going anti-clockwise, holding on with that fingertip. It's there for support. You can grab hold of it if you want to. All right, back to the centre, and let's pedal. So now we're going to do it one more time, and we're going to really test ourselves, and we're going to not hold on at all. So just remember that you can hold on at any time, all right? So we're going to go straight through the middle, not holding on if we can help it. We're going clockwise to start with, not looking down, looking up. Nice little steps back to the centre, and let's go straight through the middle again, and let's go anti-clockwise. Hold, not holding on, if you can. Little steps back to the centre and pedal. So from here, we're going to want to get back into our seats for our stretches. So walk through the middle for me, choose whichever chair you're going to sit down in, and I want you to move back and make sure that you can feel the back of the chair on the back, sorry, the front of the chair on the back of your legs. When you can feel it there on both legs, you know it's there, it's not going to go anywhere. Stick your bum up behind you and lower yourself into the chair. Sit back and relax. So we're going to finish off our class with our stretches today. So we need to get into our working position. Feet underneath the knees and sitting up nice and tall, away from the back of the chair. And we're going to bum shuffle to the front so that we're sitting on the edge. Feet are under those knees, sitting up tall with our chest up and our shoulders back. So we're going to do our back of thigh stretch first. You're going to put your leg out nice and long for me. Give it a little wiggle, make sure it's relaxed, right? Nothing's tense right now, but you might be able to feel that stretch in the back of the thigh. If you can, and that's enough for you, then stay here. But if you want to get a little bit deeper, you're going to put your hands on your knee and you're going to lean forward. So you're going to feel a bigger stretch in the back of your thigh here. Make sure our back is nice and flat. We don't want to be rounding, so push the chest forward and the shoulders down. Hold it for a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1. And sitting back up, pulling the foot back in so that we're in our nice working position. Let's make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to stretch the other side. So put the leg out nice and long and give it a wiggle. Make sure you can feel it a little bit. If you want to feel it some more, you're going to lean forward, and remember to keep the back flat, all right? No hunchbacks like this. I want you to push your chest forward, push your shoulders back, have a nice flat back as you're stretching the back of your thigh. Hold it for a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1, and sitting up and sliding it back. So we're going to break up our leg stretches by stretching our chest next. So you're going to reach back behind you, both hands back, holding the back of the chair. So you should already feel a bit of a stretch across your chest, but if you want to stretch a little bit more, push your chest forward and squeeze your shoulder blades together. So to do that, you're going to squeeze your elbows together and squeeze your shoulders back, and it's going to give you a really nice big stretch across your chest. So this one's really good at making your chest a little bit looser, which is going to be able to expand your lungs, which makes breathing much easier. If you've got nice big lung capacity, you can get lots more oxygen in, so it makes breathing much easier. So it's a really good stretch to do to help you with your everyday life. So keep it going for a little bit longer. I love this stretch. I like to hold it for a long time. 3, 2, 1, and bring it forward and relax. Give your shoulders a little wiggle if you need to. That was a lovely one. So we're going to go back to the legs now, and we're going to do the calf stretch. That's the back of the shin here. So stick your leg out just like we did before, but this time you're going to pull your toes towards you. So you should feel a nice stretch in the back of your calf here. And just like we did before, if this is enough, stay here. Otherwise, lean forward slightly and get a deeper stretch. Really good one for lengthening all the way down the back of your leg to help you with things like putting on your socks and putting on your shoes. So it's a good stretch to do. Hold it for a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1, and coming back. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So let's extend the other leg. Similar to before, but pull that string, pull those toes towards you. The higher they go, the bigger the stretch. So it's really good to flex them as much as you can. Stay here if it's enough. Otherwise, lean forward with a nice flat back still, right? Remember, no hunches. We push the chest forward, push the shoulders back. So we've got a nice flat back, even though we're leaning forward. Hold it for a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1. And when you're ready, relax it and slide your foot back. Feet under your knees and sitting up nice and tall. Our final stretch is our up and over. So just watch me for the first one. I place my hand on my shoulder. With my other hand, I support it on the way up and push it up to the side of my head. And this is stretching my tricep here. And then after that we've held this for a little bit, we're going to extend the arm straight up into the air and we're going to lean across, stretching the sides of our body here. All right, so let's do this one all together. Hand goes to your shoulder and let's support it on the way up. And you should feel it start to stretch in the back of your arm here. Make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall as we do this one. Push it back a little bit further if you want to get a bigger stretch. Now, if you can, we're going to extend the arm into the air and let's lean over. Now, keep both bum cheeks on that seat and that way you know you're not going anywhere. You know you're not going to be toppling over. Hold it here and feel that stretch all the way down the side of your body. And once you've had enough, we'll come back to the center. Hand goes back to the shoulder and you lower it down nice and carefully. So we're going to do the exact same stretch on the other side. So hand goes to your shoulder and let's support it on the way up. Pushing it up as high as you can. Now you might find that you've got one side that's slightly better than the other. That's very normal and very common. So we've got to do both sides and push through the stretch to try and make them even. So really feel it in the back of the arm here. And then when you're ready, you're going to extend the arm into the air and lean across. Just like before, you're keeping both bum cheeks in that seat. So you know you're not going to go anywhere. You're just feeling the stretch down the side of your body. Hold it for a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1. And once you've had enough, come back sitting tall. Hand goes down and you support it on the way down. Lovely. Let's bum shuffle back into our chair. Sit back and relax. So that's it for the class today. So we're getting very good at getting up and down out of our seats and practicing our balance work while we are walking. So they're all exercises that are going to help with everyday life when you're walking around or just walking around your house or wherever it is that you need. So feel free to check out some of the videos and repeat the videos as well. The only equipment you'll ever need is a chair, a resistance band and maybe some leg weights. Thank you very much for joining in and we'll see you next time.